Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me on Coffee Talk. I've actually had plenty of coffee this morning, so I don't have a coffee with me, but that's okay. A little water will do. So some of you've noticed it is 10:22. So this is a great example of the pause. I've been a little distracted this week. Lots going on. We're visiting friends. I'm in the guest room. So you can see that things come up. So yesterday I shared that we would start at 10:30, and I did not change the time on the tickets or on Facebook because I needed the pause. So before we get into that, I'm going to just do my thing of making this live for everyone to see. Let's make sure we do that. So we're public now. Good morning. I hope you can all hear me. I'm talking a little quiet because I'm in a house full, but that's okay. We're going to get this done today, and we're going to talk about how to take that pause and that breath when things don't go quite as you plan, because it happens, right? It totally happens. Let's see, where am I live? So that way I can share with all of you. Here we are. Perfect, we're live. Wonderful. So when you join, please go to your little blue button when you're watching this and do a watch party so all your friends can join us, or you can invite them later to redo it. If you like the information this morning about practicing the pause and taking a break, there is a lot more about that on our YouTube channel. I did a full session on it. However, today's is a little different because if you watched the YouTube, or if you have, or if you're planning to, it talks about a pause in reacting to things outside of yourself. And I want to start this morning by talking about when you need to pause for yourself, for when you need to give yourself the pause, when you need to give yourself the break, because things happen and that's life. And whether we're talking about the global pandemic and coronavirus or what have you, or you're talking about something that impacts just you or just your family, or you're just having a moment. I think that if you're a parent out there and you're watching, you can relate to this. When I say sometimes we need to pause, we need to just hit the timeout button. And we refer to the mommy timeout before, and it's a great tool for just giving yourself some space, giving yourself a little bit of grace in that and saying, okay, I just need a minute to recollect my focus and where am I going with this? It can happen in traffic, right? Like we've had those moments, right, where you're gonna lay on the horn and then there's another car coming up from the right behind you and you're just like, where am I going and what am I doing? And then the GPS freezes, right? So the pause is just that moment where you give yourself the deep breath. If you're late to an appointment, unless you're like a heart surgeon or something, it's probably not life and death. I mean, maybe there's other jobs that have that too, I guess, right? Law enforcement, you got to get there. But those of us, generally speaking, in our personal lives and personal commutes, if you are late, you're late. That's what it is. And the stress you put yourself under because you missed the exit or because the guy cut you off, it's going to get you there in a disheveled way. Versus just saying, okay, apparently I needed the extra 3 minutes to sit in my car in traffic. Give yourself the deep breath. Thank the universe or God or however you want to address that for the time, because it's what it gives you. When you're late, you're given time. It is. I mean, you might be late at the destination piece, but there's a reason. So you give yourself the pause so you can be grateful for it and accept what it is. I just got a message that I didn't do the watch party like I did last week. So hang on, let me just fix that. So the thing that happens when you do the watch party is you guys comment on it and then I don't see it until we're done. So if you comment on the watch party and I don't comment until later, so I'm sorry. That's it's a technology thing that I haven't figured out quite yet. But anyways, so this pause piece is about giving yourself grace. It's about having gratitude for something that you might not be aware of yet, that may not feel like a gift yet. But that's what happens. Sometimes you need the pause. You need the extra 5 minutes sitting on the thruway to get there late. Sometimes that's what it is. Maybe the person you're interviewing with is going to be late too. Now you both arrive at the exact same time. It happens. Maybe somebody is going to call and it's going to distract you and it's going to remind you to shut your phone off before you go into the appointment. Whatever it is, if there is the pause, traffic's the example this morning. If there's the pause in traffic and you get held up, you give yourself the emotional grace to have a break, to give yourself the pause and say, okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me whatever time this is that I have now, because clearly I need it. Even if I don't know that I need it, it wouldn't be here if I didn't need it. So I'm grateful for it. And that's the mind shift. That's where you go from, oh my gosh, the world is crazy and I'm going to be late. And you shift into gratitude, because gratitude doesn't mean you know what the gift is yet. It just means you know it's coming and it's there. You're going to be grateful for what's in front of you, even if you don't understand it. And this pause moment that takes you from, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm going to be late, to I'm so grateful because for whatever reasons, I needed this time this morning. I needed to be late. I needed to not take that exit. Who knows? Maybe you avoided an accident. Maybe, maybe there's a reason. No, maybe. There is a reason, even if you don't know what it is. Okay? It could be the frustration when you, right now, right, you go to the grocery store and something you want is missing, or it's been marked up twice as much from 2 weeks ago. That's frustrating. You get in there, you're making a plan, and now they don't have what you needed to make the dinner. And you have two options. You shift what your plan is for dinner. Maybe there's a reason, right? I'm shifting what I'm making for dinner. Maybe I make a healthier decision. I shift what I'm making for dinner because maybe I'll try something new instead, right? They don't have, I don't know, the salmon that you were going to do, so you try the cod. And then you look up a new recipe because you've never cooked cod before, and it's a new family favorite. So you take the frustration, they're out of salmon, and you seize the opportunity to try something new. That's the shift. That pause of, I'm not going to allow this to derail my entire day because I can't make salmon, can't take that exit, whatever. And you find it. You find the message, you find the gift, you assume the gratitude, you assume the gift, and you say thank you, and you shift yourself there. So now you're not frustrated because you got home and you didn't have your salmon dinner. You're excited because you get home and you go, I'm making something new for dinner. This could be a new family favorite, right? And frankly, them being out of salmon and you bring home cod, your family might be like, why? Well, they were out, so we had to try something new. I don't know about other parents and such on here, but if I'm trying something new and my daughter's not overly excited about it, I think saying, hey, the store was out of salmon. What could I do? I had to try something else because it's fish night. And that's my little excuse, right? You're not trying something new because I'm crazy and I'm forcing you to eat something that you've never had and you don't think sounds very good. The store was out of salmon. Thank you, universe. You expanded our taste buds. You gave us something new. It's a new opportunity. There's lots of these moments. These are two that I think I've really simplified into traffic and grocery shopping, but there's so many, right? Maybe it's bigger than that. Maybe you got furloughed a couple weeks ago. Maybe you flat out got fired a couple weeks ago. Maybe you're self-employed and like, hello, and a whole bunch of events got canceled for your summer. So you redirect. So I'm like, all right, all my focus now is existing clients, working on coaching, and I've started these videos. I need to put a little bit more work into my YouTube ones. But you've seen, they're out there. I've started. I took the time for it. I wasn't grateful the first moment that there's an event in a couple weeks where it was going to be, and it's called the Life and Death event, and it was going to be held the first time in West Virginia, and I was so excited because the organizer wasn't doing it as just an end of life conversation. She was incorporated living well, and I was so excited that I met someone kind of local, West Virginia's not that far away, who is so passionate about the unity of the two and not having it as a singular conversation or as a scary conversation. And I was ecstatic to go to this event, ecstatic. And it's going online. It felt canceled. It's going online. I was super bummed. No other way around it. Glad I didn't get the hotel room yet, but really bummed. But what it's done is it's opened up my June. It's opened up a whole bunch of time in June. So then I said, maybe I'll make my Vermont trip in June. I usually go in August. Maybe I'll go in June. Because I'm going to have to try to squeeze in some more college tours in August. So let's see if this works. Well, I've been watching the Vermont State website pretty carefully, and although on the news they're opening up, they still have mandatory quarantine. So if I go there, they're going to want me to stay in my room, in my house, whatever, for 14 days. And the friend that I'm going to stay with when I go up there, I love you. If you're watching this morning, I love you. But I don't think we'd like each other as much if I spent 14 days straight in your house with you. I'm not sure that we'd like each other very much under that kind of restriction. So here I am again going, okay, my June's open. What's going on? But it's the faith and the pause instead of freaking out. What am I going to do? Like, am I just going to sit around all month now? I got to redirect this. I'm just going to go, okay, got more time than I thought. Something's clearly coming down the road that I don't know about yet. And I'm going to be grateful that I'm prepared. I'm going to be grateful that whatever the shift is that's coming for me after probably June 13th, I'm going to have the time for it. I don't have to cancel a trip to Vermont. I don't have to cancel this event. Something's clearly coming along that I'm going to need some time for, and I've got it. Okay, so these are my personal scenarios, and if you have your own that you'd like help shifting, please let me know. Please, you can put it in the little comment bar. If I don't see it and you've done it on the watch party, please message me, and I'll get back to you in a little while. But all of these scenarios will have something on the other side of it, and most of the time until we get really, really, I'm going to say really good at it, but really, I think what I mean is when you get really experienced at finding the silver lining, the what's on the other side, sometimes we need another person to help us see it. So if you have a scenario and you're not seeing whatever that we'll say silver lining is, right, on the other side, if you're having trouble, you go to the pause and then you go, okay, but I still don't know what's coming. I still don't know what the purpose of this is. I'm still not sure. If you're feeling like that, please message me. I'm happy to talk it out with you. If it's a quick conversation, we'll just take care of it. If you want the full hour to really dive into it, let me know. I'm still doing the 45-minute special for empowering things, but we can kind of tweak that a bit if you want that conversation. Because having the outside perspective is super helpful with these moments, especially the big ones, right? Like the big ones, like I said, of my entire summer got canceled. So all my events got canceled. This past Sunday, I was supposed to be at the ARE teaching about karma. Goodbye. They're not even open. So, but instead, you know, we came and visited some friends in a part of the country that's a little bit more into a different routine than what Virginia Beach is right now. We needed a bit of that. But what I'm saying is that even when I started making those shifts myself, sometimes I needed to talk it out with somebody, and I want to be that for you. I want to be available if you need the shift and you need to be able to see what it is. And if you don't want to talk to somebody else, start with small things. That's the best way to do it. Start with the really long line at the grocery store. Start with the missing salmon. Start with the traffic jam, though there's not as many of those right now. Because the small ones can be easier to just say thank you for and assume something good is coming. It's a little harder to say thank you and assume something good is coming with the big things like the summer canceled, the job, all that stuff. I will say as a blanket statement, usually when work and the source of income is removed, it's because something better you needed to be available for. It's usually that. So as much as it might be stressful, and I'm sure it is, I've been there, to not have the work and to wonder where you're going to get the light bill money from. It's stressful, and I'm not downplaying that by any means. I understand that it's stressful, but to work, to put your mindset in a place that says, here's my pause, I'm just going to breathe, I'm taking care of, things are going to work out in my favor, and I'm going to be grateful because I clearly have the time for whatever new and wonderful opportunity is coming my way. I'm available to it. I'm rewriting my resume. I'm learning a new skill. I'm putting myself out there. To shift into that perspective of being grateful, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's not always an easy thing. Okay. I've talked to some folks and I get the feedback that it's not easy. And you're right. It's not always easy. It's not easy when you start to shift that, to go from, oh my gosh, worry, what's going on? I'm going to be late. I got laid off. I got furloughed. I got fired. It's not easy to go from that to, I'm so grateful I've got all this time and I don't know how to pay my light bill. It's not easy all the time, but it does work and it is possible. And from my perspective, it is the truth that the better thing will come when you can put your mind to it, when you can put your mind to the place of peace and gratitude and assuming that something better is coming and putting yourself out there for it. Be available to it. This is not, okay, something better is coming, I'm going to sit back on my couch and eat some popcorn. This is, there's a better opportunity for me, and I am going to be engaged in finding it. I'm going to be out there and available so it can find me. I'm going to talk about my passions and my purpose, and I'm going to look for opportunities to educate myself about something new, something different. I'm going to talk to people, join Zoom networking events, whatever it is. Same thing, people with housing situations. It's scary when you realize you have to move and you have no control. But likely the end result will be something better, okay? That's my belief, is that something better is coming when you are restricted and required to move, okay? But it takes the pause. It takes the pause of the worry, the shift to be thankful and grateful, to see it and to be available to it. Because when you're sitting there, oh my God, what am I going to do? And you're on your phone talking to your friends, telling them how nervous and anxious you are. Where's your availability? What does this do for availability if I'm sitting here complaining? Does nothing for availability. Now, if you need to talk it out, to get it out, to feel it, right? Feel the feels. We're all talking about it. That's fine. Do that for a day if you need to. Do it for an hour. Then pause and look for the opportunity, okay? Because as human beings, we are so bad at change when things are good. I want you to hear that again. We are so bad at change when things are good. When things are going good and we are in a state of happiness or a state of ease and it's not hard. It might not be joyful and exciting and feeling passionate. You might not feel drawn and purposeful, but you're doing okay and the bills are paid and things are all right. Everybody else likes what you have, so it feels okay. You're not making a change. It takes a huge inner shift to go from that to inspired, purposeful living. And some people can do that. Some people can go from complacency, it's okay, to, oh, I woke up and now I want something else. I want more. I don't like the word more. I like the word different, but we say it. We say I want more. But really what we mean is I want different. And that is a truly inspired human who can go from it's okay, but maybe not for me and I'm bored with it, to I'm going to go live inspired living and just change their entire way of living. Most of us, myself included, it takes a shift, and it takes something to shift us, and it's not usually comfortable. It usually feels scary. It feels out of control. It feels like, what the hell is happening? Excuse my language. But really, that's what it feels like, right? I had a peer a couple years ago refer to it as the karmic 2x4. And right now what's going on in our world is a huge, huge karmic 2x4, right? So in that, now we can change. If you didn't do it on your own, we're getting pushed. That's what it is. But struggle and challenge. And sometimes the bad stuff, that feels like the bad stuff, is what makes us move. It makes us change. If I'm comfy in my bed, I'm not rolling over. I'm comfy. It might not be the best situation, but when my feet get cold, I'm probably going to get up and put socks on or another blanket or turn the heat up. It took discomfort for me to move. Okay? And that's what happens. If you don't feel like this is accurate for yourself, think about those around you. Again, sometimes it's easier to see it outside of your own box. Oh yeah, life was kind of struggling for them and they were doing all right, and then crazy things happened, but now look at them. Now look at the joy. Now look at the purpose. Now look at the new passion. They move. We move when we're uncomfortable. That's what people do. It goes back to like probably a caveman instinct. If you've got all your little fish right there by your cave, you're going to stay there. You're going to stay there and sit. But maybe there's bigger fish. Maybe there's bigger fish with an apple tree up the river, but you're never going to go there and look because you're okay sitting here with your fish in your little caveman house. But if there's a little earthquake and your cave falls in, you're sitting there going, well, great, now I got my fish and no home. Now I got to go find a new home. So you walk up the river, new home, new fish, and an apple tree. Boy, it got good. Even Neanderthals needed it. So of course sometimes you do. But you have to start with the pause. You have to start with the, I'm worrying, I'm scared, I'm anxious, I'm concerned, I'm blocked up, I'm sitting back and unhappy. whatever this is, you pause, you take a breath, you say, okay, I don't know why this is happening, but clearly it's for my own good, and thank you. Thank you for giving me the moment to pause, to evaluate my life, and make a change where I need to. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm gonna check my messages. I feel like I'm so disrespectful when I go from here to the phone, but that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna look and see if anybody commented. Let's see. Okay, so we had somebody send me a personal message, and I'm not going to use the name, but and I think they must have joined late, so I'm going to repeat it. What she said was, "It's hard. It's hard. It's hard." And I'm like, oh, it is hard. I think you just joined. If you just wrote that, or maybe you sent it, I didn't check the time. Maybe you sent it before I said it, but it is hard, and that's okay. It's supposed to be. When it gets hard, it's because it's time for you to do it different. Okay, it's what it is. You can take it anywhere. We can take it to the big things with the job, or we can take it with the little things. I've been reading articles for years about giving up wheat. It's better for digestion, better for weight, better for skin, all kinds of things. You know, when I gave up wheat, when I read that it could also make my hands feel swollen, achy, and sore, and my feet, and I was tired of it. I was tired of my indigestion and my tummy problems, and my friend said to me, will you please do an elimination diet and get rid of the wheat and the peanut butter and the dairy? And I did that. And then the peanut butter sometimes and the dairy all the time, but the wheat is gone. I passed up chocolate chip cookies last night, but it took the tummy troubles and the achy hands and feet. That's what it took. My hair was thinning. They were testing me for lupus. That doesn't scare you. I don't know what will, but I made some changes in my diet after that. Made some big changes, but it had to get scary for me first. So I would love to know from you, what are the scary, worry moments that are frustrating you? They can be little, like traffic. They can be big, right? They can be big, like I'm in a community where nobody's wearing their mask and I don't like it. Maybe you need a new community. You could be in a community where everybody is wearing them, right? You're why are my neighbors all wearing these things? I don't feel like I need to, because that neighborhood over there isn't doing it. Maybe you need to move to the neighborhood over there. I don't know what's going to happen in either case. But whatever it is, if you're feeling uncomfortable about it and it's bringing up that feeling, that cranky, I don't like it, I want you to pause. I want you to pause and think, okay, I'm being told something here. Maybe read between the lines. Maybe that's challenging to do, but pause. Don't react to it. Don't go out and be all, you're not doing what I want you to do. Oh, my car, I'm going to drive faster because I missed my exit and now I'm going to be late. Don't do that. Don't put yourself at risk by driving faster. It's better to arrive 5 minutes late than not at all. But during that extra 5-minute drive, I want you to stop. Thank you for the extra 5 minutes in my car. Clearly, I needed them for something. Maybe I need to turn the radio on. Maybe I'll hear a report about an event. Maybe I'll hear the weather for tonight and remember that I didn't shut my windows. Maybe there's my favorite song on and I just needed to chill before this appointment. Whatever it is, right? Maybe your doctor went to telehealth online meeting things for your appointments and you don't like it, so now you're going to look for a new doctor that will still see you in person. And the fresh perspective on your health is important. Maybe you needed that to get there. See how you can take it? I think I could do any of them. Maybe. I haven't found one that I can think of off the top of my head that I haven't been able to shift. So I think I got really good at taking what feels like a negative and making it into the positive when I was probably, I'm going to say like 12 or 13 years old, because I'm the oldest of 5. And we started this fun game called What Can We Get Mom to Let Us Have for Breakfast? It's not breakfast food. I'm telling you, we've had cake. We've had pie. And I'm not talking just fruit pie. I'm talking chocolate pudding pie. We've had ice cream. I can't take credit for the ice cream cones. It was all my brother. He said that they had no more sugar in them than eating Lucky Charms cereal with milk. And he wasn't wrong. He was absolutely right. So we had this great game of how can we make this healthy? That's what it became. How can we make this weird breakfast food thing that we want to eat for breakfast healthy? And it taught me how to really take the big picture view of it. Because if you're feeding your kids a Pop-Tart for breakfast, is it really any different than a cookie? If they're, really, carrot cake, right? It's got frosting. It's just like a muffin. Put a little bran and flax in there or something. And if you're feeding your children Lucky Charms, it's really not that bad for you. Ice cream is nothing compared to that. right? Little sugary marshmallows versus a sugar in a good ice cream, you know, a Breyers, something nice. But that, I really think that helped teach me how to do the pause. How can I find the good in this? How can I make ice cream for breakfast sound acceptable? That was my practice for this. But anyways, we are at about 25 minutes. I know I talk fast, but I'm going to recap. What I'd like you to do, aside from my silly analogies, is whatever, write it down. Take your pen, get your notebook. This is what's stressing me out. This is what I don't like. This is the challenge, okay? Write them down. If they're really big ones and they seem overwhelming to try to find the good in, do a simple one. Think of a time when you were late. You were late, right? Traffic backed up. Go back to it in your mind. What good could have happened because of it? Okay? I will say that if you think back at the traffic stuff that you did get frustrated with and you didn't pause and you didn't show gratitude, you may not be able to figure out what the good thing was because you weren't in a grateful state of mind. And it takes the grateful state of mind to get there, usually. Anyway, write down what the stressors are and start to then think about, where's the silver lining? Where is the good? What am I being asked to change? I'm sorry. This pause will likely lead you to change something. I'm not sorry. Change is good, okay? We don't think it all the time as people, but change is good for you. It is. Lots of good things can happen with change. It really can. But when you write it down, it takes it outside of here so you can look at it. And we're so much better at abstract stuff when it's down here and we can look at it, or over there at that friend versus right here in our own head. Okay, so if you do the activity, journal what it is. I don't like blah, blah, blah. This is stressing me out. Give it a name. What is it? And then start to think, where can you find the good? Where's the blessing in it? Not just I don't have my job anymore, but at least I have a roof over my head. That's a different kind of finding the silver lining. We're seeing I don't have my job now, and that opportunity is blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the opportunity is a new one and how to get there. That's what'll come from this. So this isn't so much a count your blessings exercise. This is a pause, and writing it down gives you the pause, right? Because you wrote it out and now you can see it and you can think about it and you can put it on the counter and you can come back to it tomorrow. Okay? If you spend a couple days with it and you're not sure what it is, you can give me a call, send me an email, private message me. We'll talk about it. Again, it takes the pause, put it on paper, say it to a friend, and then find the productivity in it. What can you do? And if you can't do anything about this, right? It's not, can I do something to get my job back? It's okay, I've been given time to figure out what job I should be doing. Where's the new opportunity in it, right? So just get really big picture. What would you say to a friend about it? Sometimes that's helpful. Pretend like it's somebody else. What would you tell them? It's that internal pause. This isn't about the outside stimulus. This is about you pausing inside and finding where you have the opportunity. And again, an opportunity will likely lead you to make some changes. But after you've done it, the hardest thing sometimes, most of the time in change, is doing it. Doing the change, accepting the change, applying for something, take the leap. That's the hard part. Then it gets easier because you've done it, you've made the decision, and now you're moving forward. And it's time to start moving forward. Okay, I don't want to talk about normal, all that stuff. I'm not politicizing this. I'm talking about you as an individual. Stop, pause the worry, pause the stress, pause the fear, pause the anger, find the opportunity, give it some gratitude, accept some type of change, and move forward. Okay, it's time to move forward. If you don't like those words, I can feel you. I can feel you sitting there watching my face going, oh, she wants me to change and she wants me to do it right now and I don't like it. Okay, you can sit there a little longer. That's where you're at. But I'm telling you, it's time to change. You're going to watch this in 6 months and say, oh, I think she was right. I should have started this 2 weeks earlier. And then you're going to worry about that and we're going to have this whole conversation over again. I hope not. I hope you can watch this and take something from it about the pause, right? Worry, fear, anger, frustration, pause. Write it down, put it out there. Change. Where is the opportunity to engage and change? Move forward. It's time. Okay. Thanks so much for the chat today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have questions. Private message, my phone number's out there, my email's out there. Book an appointment. Let me know how you feel about it. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.